Hi guys, it's good to see you today. I'm going to be talking to you about how to complete the context for learning, and I've got in front of me here the elementary literacy context for learning, and I also have the secondary education English language arts context for learning. So the way you know what kind of which one you have is that you look to see what's up here in this corner. It should say elementary literacy. You also need to check and make sure that you're using the correct version. If you're using versions that I've given you, I know those are correct, so no worries. Now, this is really not such a big thing, but since it's your first time using templates with EdTPA, I think it's worth talking about. You're really just going to go through these and answer the questions. And I'll tell you, the context for learning information itself is not scored. I know it says this right here. Pages exceeding the maximum will not be scored, and that implies that anything else will be scored. And it's not. This is supporting evidence. So say, for instance, that you are writing your learning segment and you mention that you've got 2 students with a reading disability, then the person who's scoring your portfolio will go back to your context for learning to check to see, what other students you might have had that you didn't mention, or that sort of thing. So it's really, it's not, this does not get scored. So it's kind of, don't worry about it if you have to change it between now and when you upload. Just make sure that what's in your context for learning matches what you're saying in your commentaries, right? Okay. And when you respond to the prompts, you don't want any more than 4 pages. That's single-spaced pages. And it's against the rules to mess with any of the formatting. You're not supposed to take out any words or anything like that. You could get a condition code. We'll learn about the condition codes later. So here you're just going to type an X. That's all you do. Let's say if you aren't sure if where you're teaching is city, suburb, town, or rural, Johnson City is a city. It's a small city, but it's a city. But I would think that Jonesboro is a town. Okay. Rural would be if you taught in a place like Greene County, and where you taught, most of the students lived outside of any kind of town or city limits. That would be rural. Unless it's suburb. And for example, if a suburb is just, for instance, like a school that's in the middle of a bunch of housing developments. If you're not sure, talk to your mentor about it. Special features, you just list anything. But when you write on this, you actually click within those brackets. And you just type and type and type and type all your stuff. And you just want to make sure that you don't end up exceeding 4 pages. Now, what you put in here, well, I think a lot of people worry about the context for learning more than they need to. Just tell the truth and describe it exactly the way it is. So we get down to here, it's they start talking about the grade level that you teach. You might teach, I'm going to work on this one for a few minutes just to be fair. So you might teach 9th and 10th grade. And maybe you teach, so grade level. Number of students, I've got 25 students. I've got 13 boys and 12 females. And then I'm going to complete this chart. So these are folks that actually have IEPs and 504s. So this should be a legal document. So you're not going to so consider the variety of learners. And then you will choose work samples from 3 students, and at least one of those need to come from this. That's really not all that big of a deal right now. You don't have to worry about it because sometimes you don't have people with IEPs and 504s. But so you're going to put, like, for instance, reading disability. And that's 3 students. And then according to the IEP, what are you supposed to do? So that might be preferential seating, etc., things like that. Going on down, language needs. Do you have any English language learners? No. But now language needs are more than just ELL, because language is reading, listening, speaking. Reading and writing, speaking, and listening. But if you've got somebody, for instance, who has got an auditory processing problem, you might put that here. But otherwise, you can put a lot of that stuff here where it's learning needs. So don't get yourself too bent out of shape about this. Ask your mentor, who do we have that has language needs? Maybe you've got somebody who has a speech disorder, in which case you might want to put them here. Same thing with your elementary, exact same thing. And once you've completed it, then you just save it, and it's a draft. You need to save it as your context for learning, and you don't want to put your name on it. And then later in the year, you'll go back and you'll update it. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in class. Bye.